Dear Dhamma friends, today also we are going to start the question and answer session. So we'll invite Vincent to present the written questions in order to start the session.
The first question to begin with, Venerable Swami Master, please let me introduce my walking meditation experience. 1. I selected the path, mentally marked the start and the end. 2. Started walking mindfully and felt the following on my feet. The pressure and the release cycles. Sand between foot and the slipper. The touching of the hem of my pants on the skin of my ankle. More pressure on my left foot. Felt like it was leading the walk. 3. I saw a mushroom. My mind went too fast. First year botany. My quota came my mind. 4. Even I was thinking about the mushroom, I was mindful about my walking. I clearly sensed the 4 things mentioned above. 5. For the rest of the walk, my sati on my feet remained as the background while I was appreciating the nature. This sati became dominant only if I thought about walking. 6. When taking turns, it happened so naturally, automatically, at the predefined area, without any disturbance to the sati. Please advise me kindly if the way I practice walking has any errors.
So whenever you try to maintain the mindfulness amidst of changing objects or change of the posture, then the mindfulness is very adventurous and it becomes multi or diversified. Earlier, the causes to create frustration and disappointment now become points of happiness because you know how to ride the wave, whatever the distraction happens, how to maintain mindfulness. So therefore, your attitude towards disturbances, your attitude towards distractions and anything, now you know how to put into in a correct way and make it a reason to be glad. So more and more disturbances happen, more and more distractions happen. Wherever you know how to maintain the balance and equilibrium, it will become day by day adventurous for you to face more and more serious distractions. So they are no more negative, no more disappointing, but you develop ways and means, whatever the distractions, still you can see through, you can go through, you can ride the wave. And that is how we become scouts like, Girl Guides like. Whatever happens, we have the ways and means. If you have the correct attitude, if you consider it as a mistake or disappointment, I see you must so and mind went off and disappointed, daydreaming and wandering mind. Yes, it's wandering mind. But if you know still, even the object changes, mindfulness is intact. Yes, mindfulness is intact. So likewise, more you capacitize yourself. And life becomes very, very living, not escaping. Escapism. Just see through or face the situation. In that sense, walking meditation is very, very adventurous. It will be more adventurous in day-to-day activities, but you learn ABC for that kind of adventures, walking meditation. So that is why school children, they are very happy, this kind of active participation for mindfulness. And they, soon though you introduce, they come out with a lot of ways and means, and how much it is adventurous to maintain the mindfulness and how to ride the wave. So, yeah, I can't find any kind of a mistake, but this is the way you sharpen your mindfulness, diversify your mindfulness. This is happening only in Vipassana meditation. In samatha, you try to avoid as much as possible. Never confront with. Even if you are confronting, become successful, become hilarious, happening very rarely. So therefore, please facilitate it. So later on, mindfulness will lead the life.
Dear Bhante, thank you very much for coming to conduct the retreat in Florida again. I want to report an experience I had last night sitting meditation. I was watching the breath under one nostril, which was very faint and was in a circle. That is, I could not tell the difference as in and out. Little by little, it became like a wide circle, and then it came closer and closer to the watching mind. I was not sure what to do, but I kept on watching. Felt like it will soon engulf the watcher. Then my body felt sensations of rolling, managed like feelings, massage like feeling, starting on my scalp and flowing spreading to neck and spine. The mind felt lifted, joyous, and bouncy. As it continued, it felt like the mind came out of the body above my head, like a light bulb. This feeling continued until the bell rang. Today, after I listened to your talk, I understood that I was face to face with the primary object last night. It was a little scary when it happened, but the pleasant feeling led me hang on to the experience without coming out of meditation mode. Please elaborate as how to proceed. Thank you.
To add one dimension so that I hope it will be elaborated. So whenever you introduce mindfulness to your primary object, you try to see things very discreetly, delimited. This is in-breath, not out-breath. This is the out-breath, not the in-breath line. So this is how you sharpen the delimitation and the mindfulness. There you use noting in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. More it becomes closer and closer, not like in the talk that I mentioned that your noting itself become a distraction. And further, you see the difference between in-breath and out-breath also disappear. They start to merge each other. If the in-breath and out-breath appear like a white and black, they both come to a grey area. And there, if you are not go prepared, you will think your mindfulness becomes dull, or concentration is loose, or you losing the object life. Because at the beginning you are sharp in reductionist theory. Reductionism, this is in-breath, not out-breath. You see the intrinsic characteristic of the in-breath versus out-breath. So much it becomes sharper. But when the object and the meditating mind come closer, the sharpness disappears, again the common character arises. This is the point where you can get bewildered, scary, if you go unprepared. So if you go prepared, you will see more and more they become equal. The in-breath, out-breath become a system as such, circle as such. Very difficult to say this is out-breath, this is in-breath. Oh, boundaries disappears. This disappearance of boundaries are almost like suicidal. Because the whole life is depending on boundaries. So that is how we try to learn. But when you demarcate the boundaries of the in-breath and out-breath, we call our mindfulness is sharp, instrumental, good. But later through mindfulness itself, when the boundaries disappears, what happens is, your egotistic boundaries disappearing. Your in and out, me and not me boundary disappearing. And you concede, as there is no boundaries, you can't maintain my Atmanship. I am better than others, and you also become merged. And you can't have, when everything comes together, you can't think about the desirable part, the lion's share, the better part, everything is equal. So desire cannot anchor. So then whenever the in-return with two lobes in the object become equal and grey, internally huge changes in your personality happens. So that is, you naturally resist. You try to maintain your whole personality, your whole egotistic ideas, your normal conceit, normal desires. But when the object loses boundaries, your mind also loses boundaries. So if you go on, if you are not going prepared, psychiatric problem. Your whole personality is changed. So Mark Epstein is writing a book. What about the psychotherapy without the self? Western psychology is utterly with the self. He's a Westerner, done mindfulness first and then the psychiatry. He says, written a book on psychotherapy without the self. And if the psychiatry is to reinstall your egotistic idea, he says, don't to do meditation, please come back and reinstall your egotistic idea, conceit and desire and feel like the same person. So you never allow your mind to go. You are never happy to go to unknown area. Simply, it is being interpreted as fear of freedom. Even though we are freedom fighters, when the freedom comes, we completely become allergic. We become phobia. So whenever it happens, we should come back to our the barracks, leaving aside the war. They have done it in 1001 times. The day you go prepare, whenever the boundary loses, you can feel now at that moment, me and not me boundary is not there. Am I ready? So Ken Wilber is writing a book on No Boundaries, and I read it, I think about 30 years ago, and I bought the book. And it was quite strange for a person like me coming from Asia, how nicely he put into words, where everything is boundaries. We are living in our bubble. Whenever that bubble bursts, person goes psychiatric problem, mental, physical problem. So they are chasing behind psychiatrists and physical doctors without knowing that your inner resistance to this boundless area, your inner resistance for this freedom is inherent. But Buddha never believed it. You think if you can be prepared, go prepared, whenever such a thing happens, if you can see through it, experience through it, you get such a relief, it is like a spa, like a massage. Everything is massaging and it is like a rejuvenation, so much so, even up to the mitochondria, even up to the RNA, DNA, it changes the configuration. The aging, senility disappears or stops, and the rejuvenation starts. So each and every thought moment of mindfulness is proximate factor for this kind of momentum, this kind of acceleration. So you have to not only be mindful, you have to be consistent, you have to be persistent, you have to be continuously mindful, steadfast. Then this kind of thing happens. And at that time, your rational mind come and interfere, the linear kind of thinking, it definitely stop and destroy your progress. It is happening 1001 times, don't worry. But one day you have to go prepare. That means you are ready to accept these things, changes. So these are now coming together. It's a meditation, neuroscience, psychiatrist, and medical science. And when they come together, so we are shifting our paradigm in thinking and writing and sharing. So therefore, we are in a sense, in a lucky generation. But you have to follow the track. To follow the track. And these things are discovered but never taught in schools. Schools still the foolish things are teaching in the linear kind of progress. The education is utterly linear. And therefore children become paralyzed. Well-educated means permanent head damage, PhD. Unrecoverable. I was about to do my PhD, but due to some disturbances, I stopped at MS. And go to PhD, permanent head damage, because you never allow something new to happen, something unexpected to happen, something freedom to happen. When you ask your tension, frustration, disappointment, because your mind is fighting against this freedom. And it is happening in a very, very steadfast manner, slow manner. So when it's happening, the first and second threshold, when you go through, then you feel like living. You never believe any person, any theory, any formula. No equipment, no machinery, just allowed to have. But it is also not by just being. You have to have the basic fundamental development in the mindfulness and this meditative life. And then when it happens, not to resist, not to react, not to become allergic. It's very difficult to teach. Very difficult to teach. You can try it, but whether the other person grasps it or not, it's utterly electric. It's utterly circumstantial. But anyway, feel like sharing. Feel like sharing because it's free of charge. So everyone can experience it, everyone with their full will to persist. They feel allergic. They try wholehearted resistance to that kind of evolution within the life. Therefore, when someone is writing like that, it will be a catalytic effect for others to understand this. It is possible, it is human, it is not celestial, it is not heavenly thing. It is not depending on the Creator God. You are the Creator. When the circumstances are arising, to hug it. Let it happen. Not to resist, not to react, not to achieve, non-reactional way. So therefore it is kind of a de-learning process, unlearning process. Let the mindfulness to take the helm. And it's going there, it's changing each and every particle in your life, each and every particle in your body. So please let it happen.
Thank you for your comments on noting and jhanas. I find noting to be a leader. So I was happy to hear that you say it has been taught incorrectly by many. I find smiling helps the body to relax and allows the second jhana to arise naturally. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
But he just started the story. There's a long thing that we have to start. So just wait and see.
Dear Bhante, during sitting meditation, my primary objective is the breath. I notice the breath from the inside of my nose. I notice the in-breath and out-breath separately. After a while, the in-breath feels fuller and shorter. The out-breath feels longer and stepwise, like a series of vibrations. After a while, I stop noticing the difference. The breathing feels like a sense of vibrations in the nose, and the vibrations begin to fade. When it fades and fades, I feel short of breath, and my body takes a long breath, and I feel the breath stronger, and the in-breath and out-breath separately, as I did when I first started. So, I continue to look at the breath and a similar sequence of events happens when the breath fades. I take a long breath again, almost as a reflex. This whole cycle happens a few times during a sitting session. Sometimes, when I feel the breath fades, I lose track of what happens. I feel alert all of a sudden and realize 10 to 20 minutes have gone by. I don't know if I fell asleep or I simply lost mindfulness. But when I realize that I am alert, I can see the in-breath and the out-breath again separately. I continue to look at the breath and meditate. I just wanted to report this and ask for any advice on how to proceed and improve my meditation. Thank you. Very well done.
4 comments. To start with the last event, after the unknown, when you come to the known, or from sleepiness, when you become awake, if you can report that mind is back at home, in the breath, that is very clear indication it was not the sleep, it was not the ignorance, it's the area mindfulness is there, mindfulness is intact without an object. Mindfulness is usually developed with the help of an object, that's a materiality, but later it goes to the immaterial and then ultimately no material. It is like matter, antimatter and dark matter. So 3 stages. After the dark matter is over, and then you shake and light because your whole rational mind, memories, everything gone, and you re-emerge, or we can say awake light. And there are only way to verify is whether you are awakening into your same old object. If it is awakening into the same old object, it's a healthy development. If you can't account for where you are opening and bewildered and all the kind of thing, may be defined sleepiness. So this indicates a particular person is alert and reporting come back to the same in-breath and out-breath. Go back to the very early part of the report. It says the breath appears sometimes in-breath cool, out-breath warm. In-breath is light, out-breath is stage-wise development. And whenever you see all the possible shapes and colors of the in-breath and out-breath, ultimately they merge into, he or she is using vibration. So vibration is the basis. We label at a time it is in-breath, we label at a time as out-breath. But everything happens from the vibration. So therefore you first recognize, label, norms, in-breath, out-breath. Ultimately you find it's just a vibration. The vibration has many lobes and notes and everything. But when you, without labeling or let the label to shadow off, you end up with vibration, sometimes just particles. Everything is particles. You can't see in-breath and out-breath, and it's very subtle. It's almost calm down, almost at the datum level. And there you are living without breathing life. The rational mind becomes upset. And 2 times it is mentioned, I took long breath. Please observe, it is not you are taking, this is the body knowledge. Body is taking. Look at a baby when sleeping, and when she or he or she is got the deep sleep, number of times take a long breath. That's a settling down, settling. So if you are not sharp enough, you say, I took a breath. No, this is the body knowledge. Body knows it is happening, you are just observing. And ultimately it goes to the particle level, and there you are living. Breath is not up to the perceivable level. Oh, you can't see the tip of the iceberg. Now iceberg is completely below the water level. Upper part is not there. For the sake of example, I am telling you. So breathing happens unperceivable. So it appears like the mind read it as I have no presence. And there what to take it as an object of meditation? Nothing. So now mindfulness thrives without an object. So when it happens, the body and mind is utterly relaxed. It is the biggest relaxation, biggest kindfulness, biggest mindfulness, biggest loving kindness you can do. Whatever you do, you are torturing your body. Whatever you see, hear, think, taste, smell, touch, torture. So you are mercenary. Yes, you're so much happy with the break dance and rock and roll dance. And whenever it is ceases to exist, like the daytime life, you feel like not living, but that is the only thought moment you are living 100%. It is possible in this very life, even in this multitasking world. But you have to be very systematic. Get an object for you as an object of meditation and let that object to disappear. From gross to subtle, subtle to the subtlest, and complete there. And there you can go to an area. It is beyond time and space, of course. But a rational mind, once it comes back to the time and space, it measures, says maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes. The most mysterious thing is, when there is no object, you don't know you are not no object is there. Once you come back to the breath only, you know, past 20 minutes there was no object. That means that knowledge in the 20 minutes of course is the rational, deductive knowledge, not the direct knowledge. Imagine the day you can go there and experience it. And that is not belongs to normal human knowledge. It is extrasensory. It can go superhuman. So now you have gone to it. Now the next thing, in time to come, you have to go into no matter, no object like sphere, and try to awaken into that. Awakening into sleep. It appears like not grammatical, it not appear like not rational to say it, but that is the task. So therefore you are not in the sexual world, you are not in the materialistic world, you are not in the subtle mental world, you are gone beyond, and even then, the mindfulness you develop in the sensuous world, material world, subtle matter world, is given you the historical training. Now you are going to the subtlest area, trying to be awakened into that, and there you find the life continuum is there, but no willful action, no volitional action. It is due to the momentum, just like a caterpillar power. When you pull the caterpillar and release it, the rock jumps due to the caterpillar power. Likewise, the mind goes, and again it drops. Whenever you drop, you become aware again, and there are another session, another episode start. And there also, if you know the in-breath and out-breath again, very soon again it will disappear, again it will go to another unknown area, and again the known area. So ultimately you find in a city, 20, 30 times of known leads to unknown, unknown leads to unknown, known leads to unknown, unknown leads to unknown. It's a completely cause and effect relationship. You are no more involved in this game. Maybe as a neutral observer. So this is the art of letting go your egotistic, judgmental mind, reactioning mind, assuming mind, and slowly, slowly you understand. More you allow the phenomena to take place, it is coming to the inalienable, unalloyed kind of happiness, because it is completely contentment. Because you are not forking fingers, you are not committing, you are not doing anything, but you live, you become human. So otherwise you are partial. Our human life is utterly partial due to this liking satisfaction, due to this judgmental mind, foolishness, idiotness, ignorance, one-upmanship, and will, and the volitional activity. So you have to replace big volition by a small volition by smaller volition, and let the thing happen. But your vigilance must be utterly alert. even though you are not doing as such, but with vigilance. And when it happens, you see, you already end up with that. You are born with that, but you never put into practice because of your education. You have learned some unwanted things, forking fingers, never let the things to happen. So therefore, it can't stop, it can't demoralize that situation. It is always fighting. The day you let go, the day you let the thing happen, a super combination, equilibrium, going to happen. Don't think it is 100%, 24 hours, 7 days, 12 months, no. It will give an option. It will give us alternative for you to think. Instead of the rational, volitional world, there's another one waiting. The day you do away with this volitional activity, willful activity, with the mindfulness, that will be over. And it is a walkover. That winning is not your defeating someone. It's utterly walkover, it is utterly religious, utterly spiritual. And as far as you are thinking, you are completely cut off. So you have to understand the level. You have to understand the condition. So that is what you call paticca. From known, gross to the subtle, subtle to the subtlest, and then going to known, unknown, and again known, again unknown. So very nicely explained in this report, but feel the experience is not satisfactory enough. But that is normal way. What you have to do is let it happen again and again. Withdraw yourself as much as possible whenever time permits, and let it happen. And then you can see like it is like a big spring, big circle, and then ultimately circling, and coming to the pinnacle. And then it is gathering the momentum. You feel things are unwinding, coming to the up and to the center. Let it happen. And then you find that as far as you are there, it will never happen. As far as I there, it will never happen. As far as the conceit is there, it will never happen. As far as the desire is there, it will never happen. So slowly let them go, and this natural momentum to take place, and this known, unknown. This is happening, they know exact balance. So please let that trend to develop unbroken.
Next one. Dear Swami Mahansa, please kindly advise me to get back on track. My mind is not with the primary objective most of the time. When thoughts unite with being present, it was just sitting for a split second or so. Right before and for a while, irrelevant images, memories or not, kept running. Once acknowledged and ignored. It was nothing but sitting. Past memory of being and present makes it difficult to get there again. Feels unreal, not verifiable. Mind tricks. 2. Constant mind chatter, too much talking, questions. 3. Mind and body agitated to some extent. So interrupted, that's it.
So at least you must happy for a strict second, you can have mindfulness. Which compared to that only you can see unmindful, wandering mind. And if there is no mindful thought moment, you are utterly in thought wandering, no problem. No problem. Whenever the mirror image or whenever the mindfulness come into the scene, then only compassion happens. You become so irritated, so self-accusation, so find fault with others and pedantic. So whenever mindful sets in, whenever any restraint sets in, you feel irritated. You start self-accusation. you start finding fault with others and pedantic. So be patient. This is in the progress. This is dynamism. These four kinds indicate you are thoroughly progressive. But all the four aspects are negative. Irritation, self-accusation, find fault with others and pedantic. But they are clear indications. So when you go there, the mindful thought moment will be increased. One thought moment, two thought moments, 3, 4, 5, and slowly when it is increasing so much so the agitation stops. Upanishad Sayadaw used to say, if you have a bottle with a small opening, just like Odikoran bottle or a scent bottle, and if you wish to fill, and you see, even after the removal of the Odikoran and the scent or the vitamin, the smell is there. Even if it's a glass bottle. And then if you wish to remove that air inside the empty bottle, whatever the water you are pouring under the tap, it never goes. Because the water is very small. Or you can, if you can heat it, then water goes. Or otherwise you can put a small thread here and let the water flow according to the thread so that water can go there. The amount of drops go inside, so much of air is placed. So therefore, don't worry about the air inside. Be careful to put drop by drop water inside. Then so much so that air goes outside. So day by day increase the number of thought moments, the time period of the mindfulness and number of events per day. When it is increasing, so much so the agitation goes off, so much so the images coming will be less distracting. And so much so you can understand the midst of all these distractions, still the mindfulness is increasing. So therefore it says that the early part of mindfulness is painfully slow. It is painfully slow. It is like a S-shaped curve in the economic development. At the beginning when it is gaining the ground, for the revenue, marginal revenue you get for marginal cost is very slow. And after a while only, it takes a turn. So till that, you have to be very patient. Introduce mindfulness, fill your bottle with a small mouth, one by one. Don't worry about the images. Don't worry about the bewilderment. That is there. But you somehow the other you manage at least 1 split second, 2 split seconds, right? So that is the way patiently increase the thing, and later you may understand amidst of all the imageries and the visual things and kind of things, you are aware. But you are aware, I am not mindful. So my question is that understanding that I am not mindfulness is a function of mindfulness or a distraction for mindfulness. We can ask that question if that particular person is happy to answer. I am not pausing if someone is volunteering. The understanding that I am not mindful, understanding that I am in an imagine, understanding and this and that. That very understanding is a function of mindfulness or a distraction for mindfulness.
It's a function.
Yes. That is what they call power of mindfulness. So that is the most serious, most adventurous, most versatile mindfulness. It knows I am in the something known somewhere. That's the most important savior for you, more than your mother, more than your private security card. You know now. That is why they call bookkeeping. Keep the book, and there you can understand what the more distracting thing. That indicates who you are, rather than what you are going to show to the world. That is completely a cheating. When you are trying to be mindful, what is distracting you indicate really who you are. So keep bookkeeping, it's imaginary, or it is past, or it's future. So there's a pattern. That's a psychiatry. That's a free association. That is called counseling. So you become your patient, you become your doctor, mindfulness becomes your tactic. So complete within the cycle, within the person. So when Sigmund Freud used to tell it, everyone disagreed. Sigmund Freud written in 1914 or something like that, when you are counseling, let the other person to speak. And you have to listen to him without giving any remark. Just listen. He give listen like as if you are a blunt, deaf. Let the other person talk, and you listen very alert and like a deaf. And then everyone rejected, telling that it's unhuman to listen to someone as a deaf, and it's not. No, he says when you are listening without distracting yourself, then only mind-to-mind connection can take place. So you being a psychotherapist must listen like a deaf. So you also must be the psychotherapist, you are the psychiatric patient, and listen like a deaf person. Let the images come and see what it is. Ask it is past or future, whatever, maybe put a little note. There you are. It's a short circuiting. And then earth, earth, how to put the earth in this thing, and immediately the static current will be passed. So you become your own teacher, your own consultant, your own free association person, or psychiatrist. So that is the way we call psychotherapy without the self. So as far as you say it's a function of mindfulness, do you still complain it as a distraction for your meditation?
So
You got it.
I have to clarify what I said. So
Speak to the mic.
when I said it felt like nothing, when I said it felt like nothing, I thought that during that time I was with the primary objective.
Now you are talking about separate episode.
Yes, the first episode.
So you have to start like that. You have to tell, I am going to tell another, you are going to find another case.
It's the first case.
Yeah.
Which is what's bothering me now to reach there again. The first episode is that I felt like I was with the primary objective. I felt like it's not boredom or it's not happiness. It was just simply sitting and being there. It was good.
Still you are not talking to the mind.
Oh, sorry. So, but thinking about that, the fact that I went there, it is a distraction now to go back to the same place.
To go back to?
To the primary objective where I was at peace with no feelings, nothing.
So you find difficult to go back to the primary objective.
To the same place.
So how do you verify your statement?
I could verify the earlier episode, but now when I'm trying hard.
So that means mind is not mindful with the primary object, it is in the distraction.
Yes.
What's the kind of distraction you feel?
The distraction is the memory of going there, attending that state.
That means you can't go back to the primary object, so you regret.
It's like I'm feeling that I'm trying harder.
Yeah.
And not achieving.
So that means it's a meditation distraction, not the sexual world distraction, not any kind of. This came out of meditation.
Yes.
So it's a baby of meditation. Are you happy or not happy?
Right now I can't go back to that place.
I'm asking that are you happy about the baby or not?
The byproduct? No, not really.
It's unfair to not to love your own baby. It's called Dhammajiva. Dhammajiva means when you are practicing, there's a kind of agitation coming from Dhamma. I will give you an example that you will protest me. Because it's not my experience. When you become pregnant, you develop a certain amount of discomfort. You have to have different kind of foods and different kind of vomitive feeling and all the kind of thing. But if you are a prostitute, it's the worst thing. And if you are the queen of the country, it's the most blessing thing in your life. Understand? When you are getting conceived, if you are a prostitute, that your career is finished. Because people are not happy with the pregnant woman. And if you are the queen, that's the biggest thing. So therefore the same phenomena, how you look at it. So therefore it says, whenever you feel that kind of agitation due to the Dhamma itself, protect the womb just like a queen. Or it says, protect the field when it is growing, when it is when the grains are growing, farmer has to visit daily and take care about the food. No harrowing, nothing work, you have to go there. So likewise, you have to understand it's the product of mindfulness. Because your mind is expecting the same over mindfulness. Mindfulness is the primary object, but it is not there. Because primary object evolved. It is now appearing in a different shape, different phase. So you are searching about the same old pattern. As far as you are searching, you will never accept the present more. So primary objective, they are mindfulness is, they are, because you never expect the mindfulness to be changed, evolved, or metamorphosized, so therefore you are creating a problem. Because of your permanent motion. So you have to go to meditation with the impermanent motion. Anything goes.
Now I feel like I can't verify.
So by talking, you healed. It is too much.
Thank you.
So therefore, when you are going practicing, the progress happens not in meditation but in the discussion. So you have to be with others. You have to share unconditionally. Don't have any private and confidential. When you are sharing, it's a kind of spark happen. All of a sudden, it's very electric. But if you are very reserved and conservative and you feel like not to tell that kind of thing, that means you love tension so much. You love frustration so much. And you try to personalize your tension and frustration. It is me, it is mine, and it is mine. It is me and mine and mine. Me, it is mine and it's my life. The day the Dhamma comes, you have to understand nothing we can unshare. We can share it. When you're sharing, that sharing itself is very spiritual. That's how the Dhamma brotherhood, Dhamma relationship is happening. Otherwise, we are same time going and get into a rut. Because we expect the same mindfulness, same primary object, the same shape, same manner, it never will be the same. If you say, yes, I am with the mind, with the primary object, it's a different shape. I am with mindfulness, but what is to fight? What is to be happy? Be in the present moment. So results are so much in the mindfulness or meditation. You are the bloody fool, rejecting, refusing because of your stereotype mind, because of your permanent notion, because you are never happy to you. You are never happy to share, where you do not know how to communicate. So the day communication happens, so much of relief. So now they are applying that into the medical science. Any disease, any incurable disease, with guarantee you can cure if you believe mindfulness is the panacea. And I read two books. One thing is You Are the Placebo. The second book is The Healing Power of Your Mind. If you are doing mindfulness with a half-hearted, you are increasing tension. Your frustration will be increased. By the way, you will understand mindfulness is everything. If I know I am Bhikkhave Mango, Sattana Visuddhiya, what to do? We are doing mindfulness. Dhamma, as far as I am protecting Dhamma, Dhamma has to protect me. I can claim, I can challenge the hawk. Come and fight. I am in my domain. I am mindful. Then you develop kind of a lazy, kind of scout-like feeling. Ultimately, it becomes contagious. It is spreading, that vibration spreading to the other people also. People are so much disappointed. They are expecting so much from outside. So much so they are inferior become. Well, they don't believe mindfulness. Okay, we are going to the next question.
In sitting meditation, I start with the breath, then settle down by contemplating on the posture. After some time, I feel like I am in a locked state. I don't feel like I am there. I can see a crowd, usually dark. I believe this is the mind eye. I can't wait for some time watching the crowd. I know I am awake during this time. Having said this, there are some times that I feel sleepy or I come into contact with the past memories of or future. Then I go back to the basics. Rush as much as basics, much as breath, and anchor myself in the posture. And after a while, I can experience the cloud. May not be all this kind of, but they kindly let me know the next step if a correction is required. Thank you so much for your invaluable sermons, guidance, much appreciated.
I will hear the early part you have to repeat.
In sitting meditation, I start with the breath, then settle down by contemplating on the posture. After some time, I feel like I am in a locked state. Locked, yeah. I don't feel like I am there within inverted commas. I can see a cloud within inverted commas, usually dark. I believe this is the mind eye.
Mind eye.
Mind eye. Eye within inverted commas. Capital eye. Oh, I believe this is the mind, and it looks like what are they call these? Emoticons or laughing. Is it eye or is it laughing?
I'm finished.
Smiling face. Smiling face.
It is not the question you can answer. You have to just read.
Yes, how can I read that? Smiling face.
So what you are reading now? What is this?
Yes, I believe this is the mind.
This is the mind.
Mind. And it's a smiling.
Face.
I can't wait for some time watching the crowd within inverted commas again. I know I am awake during this time. Having said this, there are some times that I feel sleepy or I come into contact with the past, memories, or future. Then I go back to the basics, much as breath, and anchor myself in the posture, and after a while I can experience the crowd again within inverted commas. May not be all the time though, but they kindly let me know the next step if a correction is required. Thank you so much for your invaluable sermons, guidance, much appreciated.
Would you like to comment on this? You were trying. So you come here, come close then. For the third time. So the third time
I was lost up with smiley face.
So I mean, the group is listening for the third time.
This is your question.
So who has written it? That yeah. So you can read it. You can read for the third time. So she will be the answer. She will be answering.
Read the whole question.
Pass the mic. Pass the mic. So you have this time you have to listen carefully.
In sitting meditation, I start with the breath, then settle down by contemplating on the posture. After some time, I feel like I'm in a lost state. I don't feel like I'm there. I can see a cloud, usually dark. I believe this is my mind. I can wait for some time watching the cloud. I know I'm awake though during this time. Having said this, there are times when I feel sleepy or come into contact with the past memories or future. Then I go back to basics, such as breath and anchor myself in the posture again. And after a while, I can experience a cloud. May not be all the time though. Take time to let me know the next step if a correction is required.
So I'm passing mic to her.
She is mindful.
Huh?
She is mindful and she verifies it.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is for you to say whether it's a correct.
You are still not to rush into the correct or wrong. We try to interpret it. We try to share our views. And yes, share with that experience. Anyone wish to comment? Because today we are in such a mood. Everyone is talking about the same thing.
That was the fourth day.
Fourth day is very kind of a day. Anyone wish to interpret? So this is the situation with the boundaries and no boundaries. When the meditation goes on, it loses the boundary, again re-establish the boundary. It loses the boundary. Losing boundary is called system approach. Introduce boundary is called reductionist approach, the scientific. So our right brain is system approach, left brain is reductionist. So we are stimulating and promoting and agitating and aggravating the left brain throughout our life. So we never give a chance for the right brain. In the Eastern way, it says the left brain is masculine, right brain is feminine. And they are the masculine ridden society is there. Females are already suppressed. But in the West, even the females are suppressing females. Right brain is suppressed. So you can see the question. So whenever they come into the equal position, equipoise, the aesthetic part, the system approach, the love, the compassion, it's a natural thing in the right brain. But the left brain never allows the right brain to come out, have the same role here. In meditation, it now changes from right brain to left brain to right. So then you feel schizophrenic. You feel bipolar. This is the point you can go mad. If you have this schizophrenia, I don't know. I am very poor in this terminology. And you can see within one person, two completely contrast different two people living. And the neuroscientists found in 1919 or something there, but they never express it. It is 1890 or something. They found two people exactly different, living within the same skull. So what about the fight about the husband and the wife? Within the person, completely contradictory. Because right brain and left brain never talk each other. Even the corpus callosum is strong, superconductive. This thing is there. They never talk each other. Because right brain, left brain is very, very dogmatic. That's why domineering. very rational, very aggressive, very feminine, masculine, very encroaching. So more and more you think, the right brain is suppressed. So when in the meditation, when you give an equal chance, so when you give a neutral object, to be mindful and fully happy and fully content, then right brain occasionally get the chance. There you find that we are in some complete system. There is no person called I. I am part and parcel. I am great in the second bed. Nothing special. But the difference is, no. You are the best meditation master in the world, so you must sit up and you must take all the questions and answer. Otherwise it is bad life. You will start assuming. You are no more a human being. So here, occasionally system approach, occasionally reductionist approach. Reductionism is the one person education system is promoting, and you go ahead. You are utterly paralyzed, utterly not human. So much so you are rational, so much so you are lenient, so much so you are not human. And not only that, you suppress these aesthetic ideas, the femininity, the system approach, embracing capacity. So therefore, let that happen. Go mad. Schizophrenia, bipolar. They have their balance. Whenever you go, no boundaries, it introduce boundary. And then you can see the invest, invest cooler, out with this warmer, blah, 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 blah. And then go deep into that, and again it leads to the no boundary, I am not there. I am no one, or I am just citizen joy. And again you become. So don't talk these things with other people, then they will definitely say, you will send to asylum. Sure, I mean it is worth. Send to me because at the time you are there, at the time you are not. At the time boundary is there, that boundary is not there. And boundary is basically when you label. Whenever you label something, whenever you give a name, so much so you get committed. And the thing becomes adulterated. Thing becomes filthy. The Buddha says each and everything on the earth is become defiled by a name.
Just watch the cloud.
Anything. You have no choice. You can't ask the question. Do you have any choice? No. So let the procession go. Don't stop halfway. Let it happen and it knows its destiny. You have no rights because you have no choice. You are utterly Dhamma. Only the case we can say we have the naval core, mindfulness. Mindfulness is intact. Whether you are in the Maha boundary or boundary. And when that happens, nothing calls in meditation, walking meditation, everywhere. There you are. Wherever you go, there you are. So nothing called no mindfulness, nothing called no meditation. Whole life is mindfulness, whole life is meditation. And I will ask another question to put you in trouble. Whenever you feel no me, whenever you feel no boundary, do you feel any male-female difference? Do you feel any learned and unlearned processes? Different? You feel rich or poor? You feel young, middle-aged or old? And that is the point where we are all the same. You can't discriminate. Discretion is merciless thing. It's a mercenary. So when everything is in the part and parcel of the system runs. Don't go against it. Embrace it. That is called Taoism. Have you heard about Taoism? Let the nature to run. You can see what is happening in America. People are going to train the change, the climate and the air conditioning and all the kind of things. So you think you can go against the nature. So what did our barbaric, our old generation did? They just live in the forest. They hunter-gatherers. They eat and they never place any kind of a landmark. on their way. I am not asking you to go to the forest and become barbaric. I am telling it is not a fast distance, it's a few years, few hundred years ago. So within ourselves is both available. So when and where you live according to the nature, according to the circumstances, we have the capacity, we can adopt. Whatever the modernization, whatever the education you have, with the adaptability, 100% available. That is a possibility, that's potential. That is beyond our capacity. So when these things happen, don't ask whether forward, backward, samatha or vipassana, good or bad. This thing is beyond these whole categories. Only thing you can understand is you have no choice. So it's the biggest addiction on the earth. More than drugs. Once you started mindfulness, never you can stop unless otherwise you become enlightened. You can't erase it back now. It is gone into the hard disk. Or it is like hardware. So it is, it's working. Now only thing you have to foster it, you have to facilitate it. And by non-reaction, by non-judgmental, by becoming not allergic. Is it possible or is it a problem? Yeah. Go to the next question.
Do you guys read?
No. Most of the time I can't read.
And right here. Next time you can accept this. Give your smiling. Rolling and understand. Venerable sir, from your recorded Dhamma talks, I have heard that for some yogis, sounds are more disturbing, while pains and excessive thoughts are more disturbing for the others. At home, my regular practice of walking and sitting meditation is about 3 to 4 hours per day. Through these experiences, I am taught that thoughts are more disturbing to me than the other two factors. During the past 3 days, I have noticed that pain has taken some dominance over thoughts in some sitting sessions. Is it because of the unfamiliarity to the long hours, or is this yogi character is also transforming over time? Second part. In these sittings, my initial primary objective is the posture, focusing where the legs, hands, limbs and back touch and the nature of the touch. As I mentioned about the pain earlier, would like to explain how I feel it. Initially, there comes lingering pains, but they appear and disappear, and so the mind is not worried. After a few rounds of lingering, it starts to intensify, a piercing feeling, burning feeling, etc. And also the primary object can be confirmed during this process. The mind jumps over and over to the pain, asking or demanding to change the posture. Most of the time, I change the posture, but not without a humble fight. In some other cases, it is so funny that the unbearable pain gets lost in a sea of fragmented thoughts. So, they are my first disturbing factor, the thoughts. Rescues me from the second disturbing factor, the pain. I have heard in your sermons that yogis with this pain issue needs to galvanize themselves and go through the pain barrier. Please advise me on how to better prepare and armor for these situations. May you attain Nibbana from any expected body. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So when we Nissarana, back in the Nissarana, that is our monastery, we have the question and answer session starting at 1 o'clock. Sometimes goes up to 1:30. As school children, they leave school at about 1:30. Some, they practice at home, and they, after the school, they come to the question and answer. And then they give their reports. So when they are reading, I am not asking all people to read them. I ask them to just to read. They are speaking in Sinhala. And one girl came and told, Bhante, you have been asked us to be with mindfulness in the body, and the occasionally I go to the writing and in breath and output, but the pain on the right leg. Okay, I saw that as far as you know, it is right knee. What about the left knee? I don't know. So I asked her to go and practice. And next day also she came, Bhante, when the neck knee, right knee started the pain. Neck knee, left knee is got to be silent. Enlightened. So I told that by looking the left knee, and you can take a little rest from the right knee, which is very painful. And when you go back, sometimes it changed. And she says it's working now. And meanwhile, I know I'm sitting. Occasionally I can go to the breath also. And the next day she came and said, both the knees are now painful. Then I told, why don't you look at two elbows? So when you are playing with that without taking it serious, then you pull the attention from that demanding pain, and you see our mind is searching more painful thing in the life. And so much other limbs are there, they are not entertaining. It is attracted to the pain, it is attracted to the tension. And then I told, when you are complaining about the toothache, you are 32 or 31 other not taking tooth. Have you ever thought about it? You see our bloody mind? So always go for the most disturbing thing. And it makes the history. It makes the life story. And while it is happening, so much of other things are there. Our mind, the day our mind knows that pain indicates all the other places are in the rest, at rest. If you can report it, like that. I know it is excruciating, it's painful, yes. But I look at the right knee, no problem. I look at the right elbow, left elbow, no problem. Right elbow, no problem. Other limbs, other muscles, nothing. And then when you look at it, you can see they are calm and quiet. And the mind is only taking that irritating thing. This is the human history. Human history is written by the winners, bloody fools. What we are learning in the classroom, it's never happened. What happened is never you can read, you can write. So therefore, whenever the mind is demanding something, make it a point to say, you are mindful. And see through it and look at the left knee. See through the right knee, which is painful, and look into the left elbow. And they are fine then. Equally you can go into them, but mind always go to the most suffering thing, most filthy thing, most defiling thing. So this is the mind we are feeding from morning to evening. This is the mind we are sleeping with. This is the mind we are fostering. And this is the way we are teaching our children. This is the way we expect our neighbors. As far as we don't know that secret, what the kind of economy we are in, what the kind of political science we are in, what the kind of social science we are in. So therefore, when the pain happens, of course, for her, the whole kind of thoughts come and rescue. Good. So therefore, you have to understand your character trait. Your character trait indicates it is searching the worst thing in your life and make stories, fabrication, papancha, mental proliferation. Mental proliferation is always the worst thing. It says the water flow through the lowest point with the nature. But it must not be all the time. You can be aware of it. And don't worry, this has me, mine and myself. This is the untrained mind. And instead, you can other direct the mind and say, yes, it's a problem, he's a problem, but what about other people? No problem. So you must know, find ways and means, or Pollyanna put it in this way, you must try to find a reason to be glad under any circumstance. But if the irritating things, take it as a landmark, take it as a pivotal point, take it as a benchmark, and see the other things. Mind is so unhappy to see other things in the equanimity, in the peace. Yeah. Because it won't make the history. The equanimous thing is Buddha called no pain, no pleasure situation. No pain, no pleasure never appears in our life. And when Dhammajiva, the Aran sister, she says, whenever you come to know no pain, no pleasure situation, that knowledge is the pleasure. If you do not know, you are in suffering because of your ignorance. Because the mind makes stories out of the painful events. That indicates rest of the places are at peace, at Nibbana. So you are already Nibbana, you are already enlightened, but your mind is talking about the putrefied things, rotten things, the filthy things, defiled things. And so your story is very sour in taste, very bitter in taste, but that does not indicate your life is in bitter. If you do not know how to talk about this neutral feeling, the day you understand, you will feel becoming a human itself is a blessing. But untrained mind is always leading to the painful situation. So therefore in meditation it says, you must know the art of getting a distance from the pain. It is like a clinical distance. The surgeons are practicing in professional way. They cannot feel the patient. If it is so, he or she is not a professional surgeon. So you have to get a distance. Likewise, get a distance from the pain. Pay the attention to the other part of your body. And when someone is complaining about this thing, just put the attention, the question in the other way, asking the other part of this. And you can say, no problem. Never they talk. And if you also taken you for a ride, you will think the whole world is bad, there's no morality, everything is eroding off and finally. No, it is not the case. Our mind is talking only the bad part. That is the untrained mind. But you must know how to see through it and go to the other side. And there you can find all the other parties are there. They are not making any history because your mind is selective. It is selecting the worst thing on the earth, worst thing on the life, and then that is the history we are making. So don't get carried away by that and just give a radical reflection. Radical reflection means think the other side. Then the discussion becomes very lively. We are going to the next question.
Dear Bhante, during walking meditation at the space between the gross sensation of the right or left leg touching the ground, I often drift off quickly into thinking, mostly planning, the same with the breath. It seems I am most vulnerable at the space after the out-breath. It also happens that with thinking, it takes a longer while for me to notice I am thinking. With nature sounds, usually I can label quickly and recover. What are your suggestions for noticing and recovering from being lost in thought in this spaces between? Thank you.
So, when we are learning in the physics class, young master came and he showed us the projector, the film projector. And he asked us to, when we are going for, at that time, no television and no this thing, only the cinema, film shows. And when you go there, he asked us to see the projector is there. It is projecting the light beam. And whenever till it come and hit on the ground, hit on the screen, you can't see. Through the cigarette smokes and others, you can see the light rays coming, but you can't read it. Once hit, then the picture starts. And then the tragedy, comedy, everything happened. And he told, by showing the projector, it's a one flash happened and then the darkness, and again the flash happened, again the darkness, again the flash happened, again the darkness. Because the light beam is going through a cam like this, it is rotating. When it's rotating, 50% darkness, 50% light. And whenever the light happens, the film go through it and it flashes, and again darkness, again flashes, again darkness. And that is how it becomes animation. Otherwise, they are silent photos. So animation happens within your brain. In the darkness. So who is the film producer? Your foolishness. You are the one connecting the early slide and the other one, there's a slight difference, you feel it. And there you make the story. So when Jnanananda says, while film is happening, all of a sudden you see no electricity, the doors are open, and then you feel so sorry because you can't continue with this storytelling. You feel observation broken. So in between two breaths, storytelling starts. In between two left and right modes, storytelling starts. In between two sounds, storytelling starts. In between two pains, storytelling starts. The moment you see your ignorance. Because usually you don't see a gap between in-breath and out-breath. You see the in-breath and out-breath is like a smooth run. The when you think slice the time, you see the end of the in-breath, and there nothing happens. You have a gap before the in-breath. What happens? Wandering mind. So moment you see your storytelling capacity, your bridging, there you find what a way, what a chance for our ignorance to come and make imagery. And that is what it happens. At last you remember, more than the reality you feel, you love what you remember, what you fabricated, what you are storytelling, and then ultimately you don't know reality and concept. Conceptual part and the reality. So therefore you think what you see is existing there. What you existing you can see, but clearly not it is there. You see what you like to see. In between the gap, you project and see. It will be more dramatic, more lucrative, more creative. So ultimately you see, I see, yes. But you never you see what is given, but your story only you are telling. So ask two people to go there and look at the same picture, and what will be their reveals when the two people are giving a review. So therefore this question, that particular question, asking the in-between gap is a good thing or it's a result of mindfulness or a distraction for mindfulness, my question.
No, it's a good thing.
You are the person.
Yeah.
That you are the first accepted.
Yeah.
Second, the seeing the gap, seeing the in-between is a result of mindfulness or it's a distraction for mindfulness.
No, it's a result of mindfulness.
So first time I go to the UK, they gave a chance to go to Intertube. I have never been. And there's always telling mind the gap. Mind the gap.
Between the platform.
Yes, I mean, mind the gap is a very famous thing. So it's a very dangerous thing. Otherwise, the brain can't function. So here also, whenever you start to see the fragile nature of this continuity, you see our mind becomes so prolific. So therefore, observing that is very worst thing or very dangerous thing for the mentally weak people. They go bad. If you are physically weak, still you go bad. And if you are going with the full mindfulness, full faith and full presence, this is the middle path. This is the middle path of the says. So to look at it, one challenge. Once you see, to give a proper interpretation, still a dynamic challenge. And then only used to become yogi. Till that you are just accumulating the raw materials, preparing the ground for the work, and then only you feel life is such a dream-like thing. magic-like thing, a drama-like thing, miracle-like thing, mirage-like thing. Why worry? You worry about your concept rather than what is reality. And the reality never comes into the scene. So you are the bridger. Bridge the gap. And mind the gap.
Also, I was going to ask too with that question, but I ran out of paper. Could that space in between, could that be neutral sensation? Like we have pleasant, is that the same?
That is why mind is protected there. Till that mind is can bombarded with the external thing, so mind is suppressed. At that moment, no bombardment from the outside, so mind projects. So imagine you see the gap without your prolific thinking, or bombardment, or fabrication. So you have to go prepared. Don't hate that situation because it's a middle path. There only the path is happening. Over the in-breath and out-breath is just like a direction to show into the middle. And the middle is there. Now you trace it. But it's at the beginning, it is infiltrated with filthy things and thinking and all. Then you never know. And go there, I will make up my mind. I will never do willful anything. I will never do volitional thing. I will just observe that the laws. And with the utmost discipline, utmost restraint, the Buddha mentioned. Go there, prepare, and naturally mind is frothy. Mind is, never mind, it is a healing. It's a healing. And you understand who am I. And then day by day understand, I will not add anything. Willfully says, yacha chinti, yacha teti, yacha pakappeti, yacha anuseti, aramadameta moti vijnanasa titya. This is what is your volitional thing, what is your creative thinking, and your past directed dispositions are the only thing at that time. So make up your mind or take a determination not to do any volitional thing there as much as possible. Don't torture yourself. And then you can see the creative thinking, all the things. Then there's also try to do away. Then you can see your directed disposition, so your underlying tendencies, and don't claim it, disclaim it, disavow it. So they become null and void. So earning that itself is, we took 4 days to see the gap. Now mind the gap.
Okay.
So mind the gap means no willful action, no volitional thing, and not creative thinking, and even the disposition in the Buddhism we call the past karma. Karma and display, just be compassionate, sympathetic, and ultimately they are not becoming chain thinking, train thinking, they become null and void, and then you find huge space. And when the breath becomes subtle, space becomes big. And ultimately you find it's an enormous area that is infinitum, and no boundaries. And more you be there, more you rejuvenate. New chance. You are born again Buddhist.
Thank you.
2 more questions, sir. What happens when there are no more quails?
One.
What happens when there are no more quails?
So no problem. So it's a big problem. If there is no problem, that's the biggest problem because we love problems. Human beings are so bad. Human beings are so crazy asking for complication. The simplicity is there. They are never happy. They are very bored. Simplicity is very bored. Monotonous. So you are asking for queries, even if it is not there, it's a question.
Last one. On Sunday morning, you talked about 4 sides of mindfulness. Meditation, being self-critical, critical of others. I couldn't understand the word you said about further.
I think this is Wilson is writing. The guy is on that line.
Yeah. Now, can you repeat? He asked you for the number 4.
Are you sure this is not you?
It's bedroom.
So Vincent knows the answer.
Yeah, I said that. But she asked me on the
So
way.
what is the last one?
That one?
Fourth one she is asking. You know the answer.
Yeah, it is about irritation, self-critical, critical of others, and
Pedantic.
pedantic.
So it is never found in the Tripitaka.
Yeah.
If you have ever read Ouspensky, the Gurge of the Friend. So Gurdjieff was searching about the origin of the whole religion, and he thought everything is coming from the same. And he gave a fight, and from 1918 to 1950 or 60 or time in Europe, in Russia. And he met all the kind of people. And one day he met one Mr. G from Germany, because he says, Mr. G, because he is the German is the sage, that is Indian language. And he says, whenever restraint arises, starts, you feel irritated. You start self-criticism. You start finding fault with others, and you expect everything to be perfect, pedantic. And immediately I found this is really attributable to mindfulness. Whenever you become mindful, you are irritated. Whenever you become mindful, you are self-critical. Whenever you are mindful, you find fault with others. And you expect everything to be calm and quiet. The world must be enlightened before you. That is enlightened. That's called the pedantic. So when you go to meditation centers, you can see all the kinds of lunatics. All the kinds of lunatics. So therefore, not meditators are claiming meditators as mendicants, as lunatics. So I have been well taught before age 36. He told me, this is the world. So if you know, you can go there and you can entertain the meditation world. But otherwise, either you go to the self-indulgence or sexual indulgence or self-mortification. I see most of the meditating people are self-mortification type. They took the restraint as a punishment. And they become very tough and very stiff, and ultimately people can't understand. They are not also tolerating other people. They find that if I am not associating non-meditators, I will get infested, so get out. So when you go back home, you are creating so much of problems to your family members. Because you become pedantic. So my teacher, Venerable the Dhammika, so an Australian monk, he told, do meditate, but don't tell anyone that you are meditating. The whole problem of meditation, because you are shouting, you are talking, and you are showing others you are meditating, that is the problem. So do meditation not like as a regimentation, but as a hobby. Just a hobby. Someone says, once in a way I do meditation, but anyway, anything you have to do, just I can help and finish. No interpreting terms and conditions. That is because of pedantic nature happens. But in my case, I manage. I can be lousy. I am not very sharp and all the kind of things. So people are, immediate people are finding fault with me because I am never do anything systematic. Just let it happen. So unhindered, path forward. So, and I think many females are very pedantic. Want everything clean and nicely packed and kind of things. I grown up with my 6 sisters. I think they would have actually such a punishment. Because I am living like a robust young man. Nothing in order. We had to put up with all the sisters at home. So, okay, now we are going to finish. So we have only 20 minutes today for walking meditation. Any suggestion? Shall we make it 30 minutes? And then 50 minutes for sitting. Okay? So that means we are meeting at 4:10 till 5 o'clock. Thank you very much for the participation. Sadhu, 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 sadhu.